Hello, welcome back to Film Conscious.
My name is Erin.
And my name is Maddie.
If it's your first time here, hello. On this podcast, we will discuss films and their various meanings and give our general takes on them. We will chat about our favorite actors, scenes, songs, and many other important film stuff.
Today's film is Love Lies Bleeding.
This movie is rated R. It includes violence, gore, explicit sex scenes, as well as drug use.
Trigger warnings. This film includes light gore, quite a bit of violence, and it also includes drug use.
We'll have some LGBTQIA plus resources and other resources in the description as well as at the very end of the episode. Check them out if you need them.
The film summary. Love Lies Bleeding is a 2024 film directed by Rose Glass that takes place in 1989 rural New Mexico. It follows a gym manager named Lou, played by Kristen Stewart, and an ambitious bodybuilder named Jackie, played by Katie M. O'Brien, who aims to go to Vegas to pursue her dreams. Things take a turn as Lou introduces steroids as a kick to Jackie's natural workout routine. Their love quickly falls to violence, and they are pulled into a web of Lou's criminal family.
Love Lies Bleeding explores love through the lens of its ultimately destructive nature. In this case, it's a codependent queer relationship. This violence is amplified by Jackie's growing addiction to steroids, adding to the overall theme of obsession. The film also touches on themes of desire that then blur the line between reality and fantasy for both Lou and Jackie. So I wrote down the point that the movie has a lot of homophobic and misogynistic comments. I'm curious if you think that these comments are traumatic or unsafe, or if they're really just spreading awareness. There was a lot online about people saying that it was like overdone and it wasn't spreading awareness, it was causing more harm than good. So I'm curious what you think.
For it being such a violent movie and
Mhm.
covering so many like harsh topics, I think it's not necessarily, I don't think it's unsafe because the movie as a whole is also just very violent. But I don't know if it's spreading awareness. Like it kind of just like it's something that you could, obviously maybe you're not seeing this day to day, but like it's definitely something that could happen.
Mhm. I think it's representation, but I'm not sure if it's the best representation that
No,
it could have been.
but it could have been definitely not.
If you showed this to a kid, it's not good representation
Yeah.
for a lot of reasons.
But I think
But
for
if you're an adult watching this, it you know that it's not good representation.
I think, but that does go to ask though, it's like in the queer community, maybe it's fine because someone who's queer can probably tell what's good and bad representation. But if you're like a straight cis person, is it bad representation? Like, is this bad?
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
unclear.
I don't think it falls into the pit of it being really terrible,
Mhm.
but it's not super freaking awesome.
Yeah, I agree. There's so many different topics that this film covers, and abuse is one of, I would say, a subtopic kind of. It's a smaller topic,
Quite strong.
but then it adds into the entire obsessive part of the film. Um, I mean, for me, if someone was hurting my sister in that way, I would want to do something about it. So I think it's like if anyone was hurting any of your family members or anyone you love dearly, you get kind of angry about it. Um, and at this time, still today, abuse is a very common thing that happens, and we don't really have a good like way to fix that. Um, but
No, it's so personal from family to family or
yeah.
whoever it's happening to. I think abuse not only plays a role in Beth and her husband's relationship, see it a bit in Jackie and Lou's relationship. Like it's subtly violent. It's
Yeah.
it's obviously not to the same extreme, but
That's hard though because when you're on steroids, your like aggressive traits are heightened. So
yeah,
that's also a piece of it.
definitely a piece of it.
I think she has a, I wouldn't say abusive like personality, but she is slightly aggressive.
Yeah,
And the steroids really
amp
up
that.
that. Whereas Beth's husband is just an abusive man. Maybe he has some reasons why, but
I mean, that's like when we say that, but it's like not excusable. It might be understandable to an extent, but not definitely not excusable. You know,
mhm,
Beth's face was so fucked up. Like that was crazy. I mean, any sort of harm to another person, abuse.
yeah.
So, but it's just like the movie definitely did take it to a higher end of
Mhm,
that. She was hospitalized. It's not just a it's not black and white. It's not a two-sided coin.
mhm,
Talk about that. It's not like this guy's bad all the time. He's like abusing her all the time. They could have had a lot of like loving moments and a lot of moments where Beth felt seen, but Beth felt safe in that environment. But then abuse comes and goes,
mhm.
and these toxic traits come out. So it's like, yeah, she's still, and I think that's the case for a handful of these types of relationships. It's like she still loves him pretty dearly.
Mhm.
She knows these bad things are happening, but I don't think she's actualizing them in her head.
Yeah.
When Lou interferes with that, she gets extra pissed because it's like she's like, "That's my life."
Mhm.
It's Jackie's roid rage when they're in the hospital because I think when Jackie finds out about this, she has really empty eyes. Like she's sitting, she's very empty-eyed, and then she leaves to go kill her husband. Um, at the end of that, when Lou finds her in the bathtub, she says, "I made it right." And I think that plays a lot into her story and like what she thinks as well. Cause, you know, she if she grew up being bullied and put down
Yeah.
and you know, she's a woman, she's queer,
Mhm.
and she wasn't strong, like she feels like she has more power by killing this guy, you know?
So when you're saying this, all I think about is Pedro. Pedro says, I saved her.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they're doing what might be the wrong thing, in their mind, it is the right thing. So I
Yeah.
think this was a very similar case. In
Last of Us.
Jackie's eyes, she was doing the right thing.
I don't know if it was the right choice for Jackie to particularly kill him, but I wanted him dead.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it's like,
But I also think that just ties right back into Jackie being on steroids because she was blank-faced about it and not entirely emotionally there. And she wasn't there to make the right decision because she was on steroids. But I think it's really just, again, it does really tie into The Last of Us because, like, it's very, like, revenge heavy. Does anyone truly deserve to die? But does anyone truly like deserve to live? Like what makes you deserve life or death?
it really ties into Arcane because killing is a cycle.
There's a cycle.
Killing is a cycle. So it's like if you're repeating patterns,
Hmm.
you know, okay,
Yeah, it's a complex situation. You put a point about bodybuilding on there.
Aki's a bodybuilder, and basically, I think at this time, it's very, it's a very big part of like women empowerment is bodybuilding because it's like you have that the power that comes with it. Um,
It's hard because I think like any women's anything, it has an empowerment side and it has a misogynistic side where like oh, we get to see them all muscly, but also we get to see them in bikinis and we get to judge every aspect of them. And they're not great representation for the general woman to see, but also they're strong. So it's like good for them, but also if you're not strong, you're weak,
Yeah.
you know?
Also ties back to the ending. I don't
Yeah.
know if you noticed on the TV screen at one of the points in the film earlier, we see a black and white screen of like this huge guy eating this small person.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that? Do
Yeah.
you? Yeah. And I think that definitely ties back to the ending. And then
Mm-hmm.
also is like it's like her fantasy is coming true when she kills this guy because she gets big and now she's able to protect both her girlfriend and herself from the harm that these like guys are doing to them. I don't know if it was like the best way to go about it in terms of ending creative direction wise, but I think it somewhat gets its point across.
That was one thing I noticed. A lot of people were saying that the ending is rushed. And it is kind of disconnected from the entire film.
I feel like if you've watched A24 movies before, or a lot of, I just say A24 movies, this happens a lot. Like
Yeah.
the ending is very quick,
Hmm.
doesn't give you a lot to work with in terms of dialogue, in terms of like what's happening. It's not fleshed out, it's ambiguous for
Yeah.
you to interpret, which is, I mean, that's the point.
Hmm.
Was it done the best creative direction wise? I don't know. I personally, I don't think so,
Yeah.
but I think there's a message there that I can see.
Yeah. I this is something that you and me might disagree with because I touched on it earlier. I think that this film had some very clear points that were great to cover, like abuse, bodybuilding, a queer relationship, crime. It had all of that, and I think the level of weirdness, um, just wasn't necessary for the entire thing. I think if you took that out, it would have made the representation even more clear and a stronger impact overall.
I definitely see what you're saying in terms of clarity.
I think there was just a lot going on.
I think that's so interesting about um independent films though.
Hmm.
Well, is this an independent film because it's A24, but it's definitely by a smaller director.
Yeah.
A smaller director because it's A24, and then also experimental films.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like that's the point. I feel like it's supposed to be convoluted for a reason. If that's, I don't know the director too, so that's hard because I don't know their style.
Yeah.
But like if it's their style and they're telling it in that specific direction,
Yeah.
it isn't particularly done the best that it could have done in terms of clarity. But I think I think it's well done.
I think it's just hard for me. Like, I saw a TV Glow was weird, but it
Mm,
was intentionally weird, but it had one main topic. It had subtopics, but it had one main topic. Where this film
there's so many.
has so many topics, which I appreciate because it covers a lot of things that are happening in the real world that people need to see representation of. But it was a lot,
Yeah,
especially if you are a straight cis person, especially males. It's like none of this you relate to.
no.
So,
But that's similar to I think it definitely gets its message across a lot better in TV Glow. So it's like a very similar scenario to TV Glow, and then I think what started this whole A24 train was Everything Everywhere All at Once.
mhm,
It's bizarre, but made by the Daniels, so it has to be bizarre. They also made Swiss Army Man.
yeah. But I feel like that one had a like very clear
There's
message.
yeah, there's like you can tell what the message is. Obviously, you have to dig, but
Yeah.
it's not like covered up by all of these other things. Not to
If
say that there shouldn't be representation of them.
if you had to say what Love Lies Bleeding main message was,
Oh.
what would you say it is? Because I think that's what I'm struggling with, is my brain wants to come up with five different main themes that are they're all intertwined and they're all connected. However, are they one main theme? I wouldn't say they are.
No, I feel like they can kind of get lost in each other if we're talking
Yeah.
about the film as a whole. Like,
If you had to pick one main theme, it's quite difficult.
I think its main theme is the idea that love is destructive,
Mhm.
but that falls into like that's an umbrella thing for so many other different parts of the film, and it's telling it in not like normal ways that the normal person can relate to. It's very
Yeah.
specific scenarios, not necessarily talking about Beth and her husband, which could be more understandable, but I think it's like Jackie with bodybuilding and then steroids, which is a whole different thing. It's like because they're so peculiar, I think it's harder for people to understand what's happening.
I think that's one thing. If someone like my mom watched this film, she would watch it and she would go, "Wow, that film was really weird." And she would completely forget that their main point was to bring up all of these different aspects of life that we need to have representation of. And I
That,
fear that a lot of people watch this film and think in that way. They just go, "Oh, that was weird."
that's always the trouble though that you have with okay, it can be weird. I
Hmm.
don't think weird for me, I don't think weird is necessarily a problem.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
the combination of all the themes, like niche themes in this one big theme.
Hmm.
I think it's a very good example of having too many too many themes.
Yeah. I think that's hard because we want so much representation, but when they do so much representation, I think it's hard to grasp. And I wish it was easier for everyone to grasp. I'm curious, Daisy.
No, we can talk about this.
This ties in really great though. Daisy, they don't clearly say it, but Daisy is a meth addict. Um, you can tell she's a meth addict by her teeth, also just by her personality as a whole. People who are on meth, like their enamel gets all messed up. And she just seems like a good person, like she probably was a nice person when she was younger. She just doesn't seem to have the greatest circumstances. And she's very attached to Lou the entire film. Um, but again, is it too much to add this whole nother level of another problem?
What do you mean to the theme of this?
To the whole film, is it like too much, or is Daisy, do we need Daisy in this film?
Hmm. I think yes, we do because
Mhm.
she's a good counterpoint. That's the whole reason why Jackie gets upset at the end and feels betrayed is because she slept with Daisy.
Mhm.
Um, do we think it's a good choice that this character is a meth addict? I think it's I think it adds to her character. It adds another layer to her character in a way that's like if she wasn't a meth addict, she could be a good person.
Yeah.
Would we change anything about her character?
I think, see, if you changed that, if she wasn't a meth addict, then the storyline just wouldn't work the same. I don't know,
Yeah.
her personality is very like bubbly, but also obsessive. It just really ties back into obsessive. So I wouldn't want to remove her from the film but I just feel like again, it's just like it's a whole nother person that you don't truly understand why they're there. This town is really messed up. There's so much wrong in this town.
Guys, this town's also very small. So it makes sense why everyone, if there's like a group of people who's messed up and that like everyone's messed up, and then the people who grew up there messed up.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. Well, because
Daisy
I have sympathy for Daisy, but also do I?
they made Daisy very easily dislikable, I'd
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
in the film. But if we look at her as a person
Mhm.
instead of circumstance, then I think we can definitely sympathize with
Yeah.
her. We also don't know. She's very cute in the sense of
She's
like
just giving a classic dumb blonde.
dumb blonde. She's kind of like adorable though. Like she literally makes like little drawings for Lou.
Yeah. But it's also kind of creepy.
Also kind of creepy.
I don't know, I kind of love her and hate her.
Relationship of Daisy. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to see her outside of or
Mhm.
before her meth addiction.
Yeah.
So, favorite actors in the film. Obviously, we both really liked Kristen Stewart. Kristen Stewart is really attractive. Their acting is also very good. They're also very attractive. Katie O'Brien acting also very good. Very, very good. Especially in like the roid rage scenes on stage. That was crazy. Also very attractive. Have you seen Kitty M.
Rose
O'Brien?
said attractive like 5 times.
Guys seen Kitty M. O'Brien in like real life?
I agree with Maddie. Kristen Stewart, gorgelicious.
Gorgeous.
But I love Katie. I don't know. All the actors were good, except for the scary old father. Terrifying.
He's played by like a famous actor as well. He's just like
Good
really
actor, but the makeup, the hair, no.
wet hair.
Mm-mm.
Favorite quotes and moments in the film. For me, I said a quote by Jackie. She says this like towards the end of the movie after the climax. She like calls her little brother and says, "Don't ever fall in love, okay? It hurts." Very like very sad, sweet moment, and I think it like ties back to a point that I'll make later in the pod.
Mhm. It
Mhm.
definitely makes Jackie feel more real because in the entire film, she doesn't show much emotion other than like anger. So seeing her genuinely feel sad was really important in that moment. For my favorite quote, I believe this one's said by Lou's father. He says, "It's always the ones you love the most who always disappoint you in the end." Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just a good quote.
It like
It's it's true in a lot of ways, but also like I feel like I don't connect to it directly, but I understand it.
for sure. It
Yeah.
reminds me a lot of a quote that I heard that goes, "The only people that can betray you are the people you trust."
Hmm.
So it's like it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Definitely hits hard.
Hmm. Favorite moment in the film is pretty soon after Lou and Jackie first meet, where two men walk up to them. They're in the gym parking lot, and one of the men asks Jackie if she wants to go get a drink. Jackie says, "No, I'm good here." And then the man says, "You know, Lou here is a grade A dyke." And then Jackie says, "Is that so?" And then she just punches the man in the face. Um, it's just very like symbolic of Jackie. And Jackie and Lou literally just make eye contact and then they're like besties from the second they meet. Um,
their relationship is very quick.
Yeah, it's really quick. And it was really like, I don't know, like intentional.
Yeah.
They both choose things very intentionally. I think this moment was very intentional. Jackie is kind of just like being like, yeah, I could tell she's a dyke.
Thank you for telling me. So, my favorite moment in the film is definitely near the end when Lou and Jackie are on the tennis court. After, Jackie is chained up and then she gets released and gets upset. That's pretty valid. Um, but she basically shoots a bunch of bullets into the air and she screams, I wish I never met you. And she just gets really overwhelmed with avoidance for Lou because she feels betrayed. This moment really stuck out to me because I like Jackie was alone for a lot of her life. She was bullied a lot. Her parents essentially disowned her. Um, and she didn't have anyone when she got to the city. She didn't have anyone. So finally finding someone who you're in love with and then feel safe with, and then, you know, like they give you steroids and then you like fuck up, which obviously it's not Lou's fault, but it's like she fucks up the competition because she like overdoses essentially, and then she like kills people and she's going on this huge rampage, and then she feels betrayed by Lou because she slept with someone else. um I feel like it's a very key moment.
Overall rating, you and me did pretty similar. I did 8 out of 10 and you did 8.5 out of 10. I did 8 out of 10 because I really appreciate the film and its queer representation. I don't know, it was a really good film. It wasn't top 10 for me.
um I rated it 8.5. It's definitely not my favorite film ever. I think I could make it into a top 20 for me, but it is very like I think they do a very good job with the representation that's on screen, like you said. And also just like the this is like me with every film that I watch, but it's like the set design was really nice. I think like Crater Gym, the gym that Lou works at, is very like a it's very good setting. And I think they do a good job with like secluding this town, making it very small town. And yeah.
Favorite song in the film. Again, there was a main artist who made the soundtrack for the film, so I chose songs by that artist. Red Light in Louisville by Clint Mansell.
You just bashed his name.
Sorry if the name is horrible. I don't know how to pronounce it. He does a lot of like eerie music, I would say, in this entire film. It's all instrumental, super good stuff.
So I found that there is music with words, but it's all diegetic,
Hmm.
meaning it's inside the movie. It's not like part of a soundtrack that plays externally, like the characters can hear it. I chose Stars Fell on Alabama by Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong. Very good song. I've loved this song for ages now. I love 60s music, so it's just like a banger. I didn't even realize it was in the film because it's so quiet.
Yeah, it doesn't play for long either.
Yeah, you can hear Ella's voice just like very subtly in the background. Uh, but yeah, it plays. Stars in Alabama plays when Lou and Lou and Jackie first kiss, and then Lou obviously gives her the steroid. She injects her for the first time,
Yeah.
which is just like such a. I feel like that's such a critical moment, and that ties
Mhm.
back to the song, because it's like it intertwines both like the themes of love and drug use, and then those concepts just like interlink with obsession.
Yeah.
So
For my favorite song of the week that's not related to the film, I'm drawing back to our very first episode. Claw Machine by Sloppy Jane. I have been listening to this song literally every single day.
Claw Machine Sloppy Jane and Phoebe?
Yes, it's both of them.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Sloppy Jane and Phoebe Bridgers.
it's just so good. Life has been tough, guys. Life has been insane. So this song really hits right at the heart. My heart can't take it. It's too much. Um, I don't know, it also just amplifies how good the I Saw a TV Glow film is. So you should check out our podcast on that one.
You
Yeah.
guys should check out podcast number 1 and then maybe watch podcast number 2, 3, and 4
Yeah.
and finish this episode. I kind of just picked a song out of the out of my playlist that I didn't listen to that much, but I thought it was good. Downtown Baby by Vlad Holiday. Very good. Very not different from my usual music tastes, but very upbeat, very oons, oons. Other media?
For other media shout out, I'm shouting out Turtles All the Way Down. One, it has great actors. Two, it's my favorite book. So if you have great book, you're gonna get good movie.
I
Mm,
I would debate that.
I think that the book is always better than the movie, but if you have a good book to follow, you're gonna have a decent movie. I could also say you have good video game, good TV series.
Alluding to something that's been coming out now.
Yeah, but I'm also referencing Arcane. So, two examples for that one.
That's true. That's true. I think it's very different though.
Yeah.
Animation versus live action. I think you can mess up live action a lot easier.
Yeah, I agree. But also, me and Maddie both watched Janet Planet last night, and I was like, I need to shout it out. It's so good. It's nostalgic, great attention to detail, amazing attention to setting. Even the outfits, I was like, these are so intentional. It's crazy. I love the entire thing.
I feel like what the mom wears is definitely something that I would see you wearing.
Even what the little girl was wearing, I was like, these are some good fits.
I was like, Lacey, why are you kind of like pulling all this off?
Yeah.
The other movie I watched in the theater a few days ago. It's very new. It's a Norwegian film, if I'm correct. It's called The Ugly Stepsister, and it's like a twist on Cinderella, but obviously focusing on a stepsister. And it's very like realistic twist, like Grimm's fairy tale, dark fairy tale vibe. Very good, very gory. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching this pod number 6. Please subscribe, like, dislike, comment down below, hit that bell.
Do all of it. Watch all of our other stuff. Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yes. Check the resources at the end of this pod.
They are very helpful.
Awesome. Thank you for being here.
Ready?
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Okay. This has gone too far. Bye. Bye.